Hello, everybody. Welcome to Oracle Hour. My name is Sabrina Rising, and it is my honor to welcome you here. I am a spiritual mentor and a psychic medium, and I host this broadcast every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific so I can channel live on the spot intuitive messages on your behalf, messages from your higher self, messages from your loved ones, messages from your spirit guides, and of course, whatever serves your highest and best good, depending on the situation you might be struggling with today. So I usually start us off with a little chat about what I've been feeling into in the collective, what's been coming up for me in my client sessions and in my own personal life. And then we dive right in and we take questions in the live chat. So if you are watching us on Instagram, I'm just going to make sure we're live there. And you're watching us on Facebook, you can see me, but I can see you. So make sure that you join us on YouTube at Sabrina Rising. So that you can put your questions in the chat. I have Lacey here with me tonight. She's always with us, and she's moderating. So she will post your question. I answer them on a first come, first serve basis. If you're new to the community and you're shy, please, this is a judgment-free zone. Feel free to ask whatever it is that you want. You can be general in your question as well. So I'm pretty adept at tuning in with even very, very little information. So feel free to put whatever question you have for the Oracle in the chat, and I will channel on your behalf. Okay. And if you're returning community member, I'm so happy to see you. Some people I recognize already. Shiloh's here. I am Jules is here. Anne is here. Hi, guys. Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us. So, feel free to just say hello or just share something. Maybe something has unfolded for you or something has materialized on one of the predictions that I've given you. So let us know what is happening in your life. I'd love to hear from you. Okay. So tonight I want to start us off with something that came through very strong just before I got online. And I was chatting with Lacey just before we went live. I want to talk about the fear of making the wrong choice. Okay. And it's a very basic concept, but it really permeates so much of our decision-making process. Okay. So I want you to really take a moment and just pause as you're listening to me and think about how often does the fear of making the wrong choice direct my actions? Does it direct my choices? Does it direct my preferences, what it is I'm leaning into? Am I doing things out of fear, or am I being motivated by love or by what feels good in my body, or by simply trusting and listening to my intuition? Okay. And so, trusting our intuition can feel like, jumping off a cliff and not knowing if something's going to catch you, right? It can feel illogical. It can feel risky. It can feel, it can trigger all kinds of dysregulation. And that's normal in the beginning stages as you're learning to develop your intuition. This is true for everybody. Okay. But the fear of making the wrong choice keeps us disempowered, right? It keeps us looking outside of ourselves, wondering, is this right for me? Is that right for me? Should I do this? Should I do that? And all of this is in the realm of doubt. Okay. And so we live in doubt because we're not connected to our natural rhythms. We're not connected to our breath. We're not connected to our values. We're not connected to what our needs are, what feels good on a soul level, on a physical level, on an emotional level. And so when we're clear about who we are and what we need in order to feel happy and fulfilled and like we're living an authentic life, then we struggle less with what should I do. Right. And we were able to drop into our bodies and really choose. Right. Because the fact of the matter is that the reality that you're currently living is your choice, whether that is a conscious choice or an unconscious choice, but you're choosing all of it. And in fact, those two work together. Our conscious mind may not want the circumstances that we're in, right? But the unconscious mind is more powerful because it really operates at a much deeper level. It's 90% of your mental power is being driven by the unconscious mind. And so and I talk about this almost every week. It's so important to uncover what our subconscious programming is, what our early childhood conditioning was, what our felt experiences about some of the events in our lives that are still trapped in our bodies, because this is what's really shaping our belief system, and it's keeping us in fear and doubt. Okay. So the fear of making the wrong choice is really just about not trusting ourselves, and believing that there can be a wrong choice. Okay. And the truth of the matter is there isn't. There is no wrong choice. because you'll either choose something that serves you this set of lessons, this set of opportunities for growth and expansion. Some of those lessons and opportunities can be more painful, more challenging than if you had made a different choice, but it's always just learning. And I fundamentally believe that your higher self is directing you to choose just the right lesson, just the right circumstances, just the right relationship or the job or whatever it is that you're grappling with, that's going to provide you the most favorable conditions for you to learn about yourself. Okay. So maybe you chose that relationship that was a heartbreak, or that was, that triggered all kinds of childhood wounds for you so that you could heal them. Okay. Or maybe you chose the job that didn't work out so that you can get closer and more connected to the thing that you really, really absolutely love to do. Okay. And so there's no wrong choice. There's just, am I willing to look at is life as it's happening for me rather than is it happening to me? Right. Is there something else I could choose that can make my life better, easier, move faster, make more money, feel more at peace? And the fact of the matter is that we can't make that external choice. We can only choose from where we are. Right. And so when you think about, what should I do? What should I do? You're really trapped in your mind, and the mind as a powerful tool for, giving you access to the past and for navigating things that the mind is good at, like, logistics and directions and, things that are in the world of form. It's not an accurate guide for what serves your highest and best good, because it only gives you access to what's already happened. The mind will give you access to the past. It will not give you access to the realm of infinite possibilities. Okay. And the realm of infinite possibilities lives in intuition. It lives in your heart. It lives in your soul. And if you're not connected to your body and your breath, and you're not developing trust within yourself, even just a little bit of trust, right? A small, tiny little bit of trust in yourself, as you keep cultivating that and keep practicing that, will eventually allow your intuition, your intuitive voice, to become louder, to become stronger, to become more reliable, and for you to be able to lean into it more, and really know that that's your anchor. That's your anchor for what you should do, what your body is saying, what your intuition is telling you, how it feels in the moment. Just trusting that. Okay. So the fear of making the wrong choice, again, is I want, if this is something that you're struggling with personally, I want you to really hear me and really listen to it, whether you're watching live or watching the replay. Just ask yourself, what is it that I'm afraid of? Right? What is the root of this fear? Is it the fear of failure, abandonment, loss, of not being loved, of humiliation, of shame, whatever the fear is? Ask yourself, what is that fear, and where did that fear come from? It's not coming from the present moment. It's a conditioned response to a perceived threat, right? Something that came from your childhood. So really ask yourself, what is it that I'm afraid of, and where is this fear coming from? Right. And then if you can recontextualize your perception of the current circumstances and say, okay, what if I could trust that whatever I choose is going to offer me the greatest learning that my soul needs right now? Right. This is what I want to hear within the whispers of my intuition, my body, my inner knowing. Right. And then choose from there. Okay. Because there is no wrong choice. There's only learning, and there's only growth and only expansion. All right. Beautiful. So that is my talk for tonight. Let's see who we have here. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, BJ. Hi, Shiloh. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, everybody. Beautiful. Amazing. Okay, Lacey, let's jump in. And let's take the first question. Hi, Elizabeth. Okay, so Elizabeth says, am I wondering what will happen? Well, what will be happening with my job, with my boss, and I am to stress. Okay, so my interpretation of this is I'm wondering what's going to happen with my job and my boss, and I'm feeling stressed about what's happening with my boss and my job. Okay, so Elizabeth, so hopefully you've been paying attention since the beginning. And here's a couple of things that I want to share before I answer this question, which I'm about to answer. If you want your question answered, stay for the answer. Okay, so participate in the live, interact with me, validate what I'm saying, give me the feedback, tell me, this is correct, or this resonates, or this doesn't resonate. Any feedback is good feedback. Okay, so make sure that you're staying for the answer. And And again, if you're someone who's here specifically looking for a mediumship connection, that may or may not happen on the live. Sometimes it does, but I can't guarantee that. Okay. And we have a mediumship event that we'll talk about at the end. And Lacey will help me not to forget to mention that at the end. So, okay, Elizabeth, I'm going to channel for you. Okay, so first of all, the first thing I feel is a sense of a lack of safety. Okay, and the boss that you have, you already don't feel safe with this person. Okay, so there is already an experience of unease and anxiety and uncertainty around this person. So the bottom line is I don't think anything as bad is going to happen with your job. I don't think you're going to lose your job. I think that if anything, there might be something either changed about your role or added to your role. Something is going to shift in your role, but you're not going to lose your job. Okay, so if that's the question, this is my answer. But I don't like this dynamic for you in the workplace. Okay, so this dynamic with your boss specifically feels very challenging. It feels like you have anxiety working for this person. So, and I feel like you've been under stress for quite some time about this specific situation. So, I want to tell you, Elizabeth, that now would be a really good time for you to take a step back and take some of the advice that I gave at the beginning here and do some deep diaphragmatic breathing. And I recommend this all the time to all of my clients, to all of my community. Some big diaphragmatic breaths. So breathing into the belly, exhaling, letting the belly drop naturally so you can regulate your nervous system, so you can really de-stress yourself and ask yourself, how do you want to feel at work, right? Do you want to feel this way? Is this something that you're really choosing for yourself? I feel like you're staying in this job, but you don't have to, right? There's a whole other world of possibilities for you, specifically with your skill set. I feel like there's a lot of other things you could be doing. So, and this job is kind of very limited. You're kind of holding on and attached to the security of the job. And you're not giving yourself a chance to really move on and look beyond this job and see what else is available to you. Okay. So the reason this is coming up right now is because your higher self wants a change, and it wants to move out of this work situation and into something that feels safer, that feels like you're more valued and seen and recognized for your gifts and for your talents, your abilities. And that's not going to happen in this workplace. Okay. So you can stay in this job, but I don't believe you will be happy. Okay. And so that's my prediction for you. That's what I feel. That's what I feel, channeled in spirit for you. And I also see there's a lot of writing involved, so it would be good for you to start journaling about your work experience and about the type of the type of work that you want to be doing. Start doing some journaling, because you'll get some clarity around the kind of work environment you want to be in. Okay. And it'll help you de-stress as well, because you're all pent up and you're holding on to so much of this. Okay. So that's my guidance for you. Thank you for stopping by, Elizabeth. I hope this was helpful. Good. All right. Next question. Hi, Anne. Nice to see you. Anne says, sorry, I feel very thirsty tonight. Anne said, are there any messages for me today? Also, do you see anything about my significant other's health issues? Thank you so much. Okay. So, let me see. As soon as you said health, or as soon as I read health, I felt something around the kidneys. Kidney, it's actually kidney low back area. So yeah, so it's something in this area of the body that feels particularly tender. It might even be a kidney stone. Okay, so again, I'm not a medical professional, but I do feel like there's something going on in the kidneys, or something going on with the way that fluids are being processed in the body. Okay, so something to look out for. Nothing serious. Okay, I do see. Yeah, it's maybe just like mild infection or a little bit of bed rest, but nothing serious to be alarmed with. Okay. So I just want to give you that reassurance, and messages for you. Let me see. It's interesting, and I know we've obviously channeled for you before, but your father is coming in tonight, very clear. So there is either a conversation that needs to be had with your dad, or some kind of reconciliation. Maybe this is something you've been thinking about, or something that you've been longing for, but it's kind of what's up next for you in terms of inner work. As far as your spiritual evolution is concerned, your soul at this time needs to sort of reconcile some of the communication in the relationship with your father. Okay. So there's a lot of father energy coming through, dealing with the masculine, a realm of the masculine. It can also be dealing with your partner, which is also masculine, dealing with, the realm of the masculine is also, your career, your work options, the world of form. Right. So there's father energy coming through. And as a facilitator of inner child work, the relationship we have with father determines the relationship we have, the dynamic we establish with everything that vibrates masculine. So some father work is coming through for you. Would be a good idea to start journaling about that, or start thinking about reflecting on it and see what comes up for you. Like, I wonder, what resentments I still have towards my father that I haven't fully processed, or I haven't fully looked at, that might be keeping me from integrating my own masculine energy, feeling empowered, feeling like, I'm self-responsible and I'm operating from a place of grounded authority. Okay. So that's what I feel coming through strongly for you tonight, Anne. Okay. And again, feel free to validate any of this. Elizabeth, did we lose you? Thank you, Anne. Oh, good. Hi, Elizabeth. You're very welcome. I'm glad that resonated. And feel free to come back and let us know how that unfolds for you. Okay. And hi, PJ. Sorry, I got to drink again. I'm going to take a sip of water. Okay. So BJ says, hello, Sabrina. I'm hoping that all is well with you. Thank you. I'm hoping all is well with you too. I am wondering if you still see my son and his family attending the wedding in South Carolina next weekend. All right, let me see. Oh, I remember this question. I think you were here last week or the week before. I mean, unless there's more than one son, I see a son and his significant other in this outdoor garden wedding, present and attending. So my answer is yes. It could be more than one son. It can be a son. It can be a son-in-law. It can be, but there is definitely that sort of son energy present at this wedding. Specifically, I think you have a son. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a son that's overseas somewhere, like far. And yeah, sort of not sure if he would be able to make the trip or not, or not sure if he could get the opportunity to leave his position to come to the wedding. And so I feel it still feels like a yes to me. And I think if I remember correctly, we talked about how this was going to be a last minute thing, like sort of up until the last minute, it was going to seem like he couldn't make it, but he's going to be there. So my answer is still yes. It has not changed. In the meantime, what you can do, BJ, is really visualize. Okay. You can really visualize and, bring your energy to the scene that you want to experience. Okay. So see your family united at this wedding, see all of you gather together, see, everybody enjoying themselves, feeling that feeling, what it's going to feel like to experience your son's presence there, and really embody that. Okay. You can help this along with the power of your beliefs and your thoughts and your visualization, and just embodying the energy of what it feels like to be connected to your family members during this really festive occasion. Okay. So I want you to stop living in the worry thoughts. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? As I talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, and really move into like, this is what I'm choosing. I'm choosing, to experience connection and joy with my family at this event. And this is what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing, and I'm feeling it now. Okay. I want you to use that mantra, use it daily, maybe multiple times a day, as long as it feels good in your body, and watch what unfolds. Okay. And you come back and let me know. All right. I have 2 sons. My oldest daughter is getting married. Okay. Yeah. It feels like there's more than one son. But so, yeah, my answer is still the same. So be in that energy of rejoicing and being connected. And it feels like a nice family reunion too. It feels like a long time since everyone's been together. So really focusing on that, about that experience of having all of your children around you, and how good that would feel. Okay. And that will send some ripple effects into what's happening in the ethers to open up the way for your son to arrive. Okay. Good. Hi, just Darius. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Darius says, Greetings from Darius. Nice to see you here. Nufi, hi. Nufi says, hi, Sabrina. How's everything going? It's good to see you, Nufi. We are doing great. We're off to a good start here. We've got all our community members here. Thank you for joining us. Hi, I'm Jules. Welcome back. I'm Jules says, hi, Sabrina. Can I please ask what you see for me around a life partner companion to grow old with? I do not have anyone in my life at this time. Thank you. Okay. Yes, I can channel this for you, Jules. Okay. It's interesting. The first thing I feel, and I know this is not directly connected to your question, but it is. So work with me. I feel the presence of like a brother, either in spirit, or long distance. He seems like he's very far removed from you, and somehow he's helping. I feel like this brother energy is helping you sort of manifest, a partner, someone that you can co-create life with. Okay. So there's something in your dynamic with your brother, something in that relationship with your brother. I want to say that felt painful in early childhood, or painful during the course of your life. And as you're healing this dynamic, this is helping you sort of prepare your heart to invite in a partner. Okay. And so let me know if this is making sense. There's sometimes, the relationship with brother, the relationship, it can be just or even if it's another male figure in the family, in our immediate family environment. If there's pain or conflict in that relationship, it can affect, our experience with the masculine energy. And so are we open to love? Do we feel that love is safe? Do we feel, that love is possible for us? I'm an only child, but my uncles were my big brothers. Okay, good. So there's a big brother energy. Thank you for confirming that. And I actually feel, now that you say that this is in spirit. So this is helping, this uncle brother energy is helping you to sort of manifest someone. And it does feel like there was some pain in one of these relationships that needs healing. Okay. So, and you already know what I'm talking about. You know what that is. So I want you to spend some time sort of tending to that wound, and tending to those certain, that event, the series of events that occurred in this relationship, and really bring a lot of self-compassion and love and forgiveness to that part of your life so that you can call in this beloved. Okay. I really feel like these two pieces are connected. And this is so true for all of us. The thing that we suffer with, the thing that we long for is usually just some inner, it's usually on the other side of some inner work that we have to do to heal and to create the way for this thing to show up in our lives. I was raised by my grandmother, so uncles were like brothers. Okay. Yeah. Good. Beautiful. And, yeah. So there's again, and you'll know which one of these uncles, that felt like there was a bit of a strain in that relationship, and this is the one in spirit that's actually looking out for you and helping you find that point of safety, find that point of anchoring within yourself, and this, as you heal again, as you heal your heart and you heal, from just a longing for love. There's a real longing for the presence of the masculine, a real longing for safe love, a real longing for feeling held and seen and protected. Okay, and so I feel like this has been missing for most of your life, including your childhood. Okay, and again, not from obviously you were raised by your grandmother, but from the masculine presence. So I really want you to take a look at that and create the space for this presence to show up in your life. Yes, safe love. Okay, good. Beautiful. So as you're healing and creating that space for safe love, again, this is the uncle relationship is coming up as doing some work and some body of work to heal that. And good. I'm glad this is resonating. And then you can now prepare the way, because you can consciously desire, and I talk about this again all the time, you can consciously desire a partner, a relationship, a significant other, but if on a deep soul level, unconscious level, or cellular level, you don't feel safe in the presence of the masculine, or there's unhealed stuff in some of the dynamics with these uncle/brother energies in your life, you're going to you're gonna reject it, right? You're going to keep it at bay, right? You're gonna block it, in other words. And so that's what's happening. You've been blocking it for quite some time, and I feel like you've been trying to keep yourself safe, even though you don't feel safe. So my wish for you, Jules, is to do the work to create safety in your body and to create the idea of safety around love. So doing, the subconscious programming, as we've talked about, like thinking about what, the affirmations that you could say on just before you drift off to sleep every night when you're in theta wave brain state. This is very powerful work. Feeling into those events, perhaps as you're journaling about them and doing the somatic release, the breath work to heal some of those hurt feelings in those relationships. And then just really creating the vision for this person that you want to attract. What does he look like? What does he feel like? I actually feel, and it's interesting because as I'm channeling for you, I feel that there is a presence coming closer and closer and closer. So it's directly connected to the inner work, right? Jules says, thank you for your kindness and compassion. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I'm sending you so much love. It's tough when we have moments of abuse or moments of pain in our childhood that we need to heal, that we really need to look at, especially when we see that, we're not living a fully self-expressed life. We're not loving as much as we want to. We're not receiving as much love as we deeply need and desire, right? So there's always a wound at the root of the block of whatever's blocking you in your life. And so it's important to take a good, honest look at that and to call in the healing, to be very intentional with healing these wounds. Again, subconscious, reprogramming of some limiting beliefs around what's possible for you in love, and then the somatic work to really release the pain that you're holding on into your body because you've been keeping yourself isolated for a very long time. And keeping it at bay. And then again, as I'm talking, these two things are happening parallel. It feels like there's this, I can see the presence of someone, dark hair, actually not far from your neighborhood, perhaps in your local community. I don't know, Jules, if you there's like a community center or something that you participate in your area. But it feels like someone who either is coming from the same culture or shares a cultural background, or there's a mutual interest. You know, could be yeah, it can be a local thing that you're both attending, but it's not far from where you're living, right? And so it's kind of like right around the corner. And you know, from a universal intelligence perspective, I can see these things happening parallel. Your inner work and your capacity to step into what it is that you deeply desire, and you're feeling into these wounds and releasing them and forgiving yourself and forgiving your brothers slash uncles, and letting that love in as much as you clear your heart space. There is the, you know, the it's drawing in this potential partner who's actually, you're gonna come back and tell me that he's right around the corner. Jill says, you're right, I've been in hermit mode for so long. Yeah, I totally feel that. It's time to come out of hermit mode. But so attracting a partner when you're in hermit mode is not going to happen, right? We need to come out of hermit mode, and we need to do the healing work to understand what's been keeping you there for so long. And there is pain in your relationship with this uncle. And it would be good for you to come to the mediumship class, and so we can do some deep inner work together, and we can connect you to your loved ones, and you can forgive and clear the space for connection, for love, for safety in love. Okay, so we'll put the link here at the end. Yeah, they're so intertwined. So your capacity to really heal and clear the space, and the presence of this gentleman coming into your life. You know, you don't have to go far for this. You don't have to look far and wide. There is someone out there for you. And as you change your frequency, you change your trajectory, you change your magnetism, you will attract this person into your life. Okay. And I see that very clearly for you. Okay. And it just doesn't have to take long. You know, it's just a matter of doing the work and being very intentional with the work that you're doing to heal yourself, and staying in that energy and staying committed to this process. Okay. You're welcome, Jules. You're so welcome. All right, good. Who's next? Hi, Shiloh. Shiloh says, hi, Sabrina. Do you sense any shifts for me, financial and or companion wise? Oh, let's see. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. So I definitely sense a shift in finances for you. I want you to work on your impatience. I know that there's like a sense of, you know, urgency building up. Okay. I can feel that as I'm tuning into your energy. And it's like trust. You know, universe is saying trust, like really trust, and do, you know, the advice that I'm giving one person is true for all of us. So the thing that you deeply desire is right there for you. It's just a matter of seeing it, visualizing it, embodying it, getting online with it, you know, feeling it all, dealing with whatever doubt arises as you visualize the experience you want to be living out, you know, whatever comes up. Like if you deeply desire a partner and you think, well, but I'm not ready yet, but I don't, you know, I'm not in this yet, or I don't have that yet, or whatever the buts are, right? So just noticing those and observing those thoughts and stepping into it anyways. Okay. You're stepping into it fully, loving yourself and accepting yourself as whole and complete, and trusting. Just really trust is the message for you tonight, that you're exactly where you need to be. And the thing that's taking the time that it's taking is because, you know, what's coming is big. Like there's a huge up level for you, Shiloh, in the next few weeks. You know, especially now we're in the Taurus energy. So it's like, this is the time for the workplace to shift, the home environment to shift. There's an improvement in your aesthetics, in your just your earthly experience. Okay. So I really feel you stepping into this next level. It's just going to take, you know, yeah, I feel like it's another week or so, and I'm curious to see what happens in this unfolding for you around career. I know that that's kind of priority. And it's interesting because I just channeled this for Jules, because we're talking about the masculine. We're talking about the world of form, career, money, work, you know, structures. And we're talking about male relationships at the same time. So companion and financial, they're coming in together. This body of work that you're doing to really feel to really integrate your own masculine presence is calling these two things in at the same time. Okay. And I feel that very strongly. I actually think there's someone that, there is someone who you may not know of yet, but already knows about you. Okay. And I feel like that's something that's going to show up soon as well. So that's fun. And I'll leave you with that. Okay. That's my message for you tonight, Shiloh. I hope that was clear. Hi, Oracle fam. Hi. I hope that was clear. Let me know if you have any more questions, Shiloh. I'd be happy to keep channeling. Hi, Radiant Uprising. Welcome back. It's nice to see you. Radiant Uprising says, hello, Sabrina. I'm getting laid off on Friday. Okay. Does Spirit have any guidance for me during this transition? Thank you. So first of all, I want to acknowledge that this could bring up some feelings of stress or anxiety. Okay. And, I want to also acknowledge that I feel like you're in a good place about it. Like feel like there's a wide range of emotions, like a little bit of stress and concern, like what's going to happen. But if you stop and tune in, Radiant Uprising, there's a part of you that deeply already knows that this is exactly what's meant to happen. Okay. So I want to really sort of congratulate you for having this context, having the wisdom to trust that, because, yeah, I think that, of course, this is a gift. Of course, I would say that. And of course, it's always true. It's a gift. Everything that happens is a gift, even if it doesn't feel like one in the moment. It's liberating you from something that's been keeping you from really expressing yourself creatively. And this is the other thing I want to say to you is part of the gift and the pause that you're about to experience. And it really feels like a sacred pause, is the time and space that you're going to have to be able to really focus on your creativity. When I tune into your energy, I feel like, I just see these like flames, and it could be a symbolism of like a phoenix rising. It could be a symbolism of, burning candles and doing rituals, but there's something very creative coming through, and I don't know if you draw or you make art, but I want you to, Radiant Uprising says, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. So I just want you to really express your creativity more. Okay. Like I really see you in this, during this time of tuning into your creative abilities and calling in something that is more in alignment with your gifts. Okay. This job is freeing you. It really is. It's freeing you. You don't really even enjoy this job that much. You've kind of just been doing it. You've been comfortable, and it was very suitable for a version of you for some time, which is great, but that's, way outdated now. And it's time to move on to something more you. And it's not going to be a regular 9-to-5 job. It's not going to be, a 40-hour-a-week job. That's not where you're headed, Radiant Uprising. And it's not really what you want. Okay. So I really want you to draw and make some art, like literally. Okay. And I want you to visualize artistic things, and I want you to spend time in your daily spiritual rituals. This is the time to plant seeds and cultivate and manifest. This is true for you and true for anybody watching. It's really ripe for that. Okay. And so just to trust that inner knowing that's already aware that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and don't be afraid to let go. Just let go, let go and be grateful. Trust the process you're in, and be grateful for the experience of letting go, because it's expanding your capacity to receive something that's more in alignment for you. Okay. That's my message for you tonight, Radiant Uprising. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Shauna. Nice to see you. Welcome to Oracle Hour. Shauna says, hello, new to the channel. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you're having fun. Feel free to ask a question. Radiant Uprising says, got it. I need to hear. It's not typical 40-hour. I'll try to be creative. Not the easiest for me. Okay, good. It's not going to be a 40-hour. You don't belong in that kind of environment. It's actually not good for your energy system. Okay. So you really need to work in spurts, and you have and then rest, and then you'll have bursts of energy, and then rest. So the creative flow will start. Okay. So really just trust it. Trust your creative expression. There is a really good book. It's a beautiful process called The Artist's Way. It's just coming through as I'm talking to you. Go check that out. Just check it out. I think it's something you do daily, and it's a practice, and it will really start to open you up creatively. I want you to go check that out, and then come back and let me know what's transforming for you. All right. Sending you so much love. Shiloh says, all of those thoughts. My belly is bubbling. Okay, good. Like excitement, but brings me impatience, not knowing. Working on trust in all areas. I like hearing someone knows of me. Suspense. Yeah, beautiful. Good. Good. I'm so glad that resonated for you. And again, impatience is just fear, right? It's just fear. It's like, it's the need to be in control of what's happening, right? Rather than being in flow. And trusting is flow. Trusting is, I have no idea what's happening, and it's okay, because I already know in my body that I'm going to end up exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I know that if I'm honoring myself, and I'm honoring my feelings, and I'm taking care of my needs, and I'm doing things to show up in integrity for myself, that all will be well. Right? All will be well. So you're taking, you're managing your belief system, you're managing your energy by regulating your nervous system, by doing your diaphragmatic breathing, your spiritual practice, as I talk about every week, and you're being intentional with your thoughts and your actions. The rest is surrender, trust. We are not, human beings are not meant to struggle. We're not meant to work this hard. We're not meant to have to fight for what it is that we want. Okay. These are conditioned beliefs from our childhood environment. These are values we inherited from our caregivers that don't belong to us. They have no basis in reality. Okay. We're meant to be creative beings that are that feel whole and complete within ourselves, and that can visualize and be in that creative energy and allow things to come to us in flow. Okay. So remember that when you're living in alignment with source consciousness, you're not struggling. Okay. When you're struggling, you're living from your identity, otherwise known as your ego self. And the ego self is very limited. It's very limited in what you can accomplish. All right. So impatience is just fear, the fear that things are not going to happen the way you need them to. Right. And Shiloh says, I never knew impatience is fear-based. Yes, of course. And anything that triggers your nervous system that feels like the opposite of peace is fear-based. Okay. That is the root of it. And so it's just the need to control and make sure that they're going to be taken care of. And, impatience is also, it's also, I can't find my words tonight. It's kind of like, pointing to the need for control, and it's also telling you, it's an alert. That's the word I'm looking for. It's alerting you that you're in survival mode. Okay. So impatience is about survival mode. Like, why isn't this happening? Why isn't this happening now? As soon as those thoughts come in and those feelings show up, check in with yourself and see, am I in survival mode right now? Or which is basically fear, right? It's fear-based. And then so do the work to get out of the fear and step into the trust. And from there, you'll find so much more patience available to you. Okay. And that's true for you, and it's true for all of us. All right, great. Cool. Who's next? Hi, Sunshine and Beauty. What advice, guidance do you have about Dan, a man who I really enjoyed getting to know and who dumped me in the early dating stages? I'm very sad. I'm so sorry, Sunshine and Beauty. That is very hard and very hurtful. I mean, the idea that you have been dumped, of course, is feeding a very limiting belief that you have. That points to an early childhood wound around, not being worthy of love, or not being lovable, or not being desirable, or just, love being a struggle for you. Okay. And there's a deep sense of rejection, even coming from your childhood. All right. So my advice is not about Dan. I usually like to answer these questions in two ways. Okay. Just to give you some context, because I think you're new here. I'll give you my psychic hit, and then I'm going to give you the spiritual guidance that I believe is really going to help you out of pain and lead you out of suffering. Okay. So the advice is not, this is not the right question. It's not necessarily about Dan. The advice is more for you, right? It's beautiful that you enjoyed getting to know this person. And if this person decided at some point in your dating phase that you were not the right person, or that, the chemistry wasn't there, or that he didn't want to pursue you for whatever reason, we don't know what the reason is, whatever reason. And I can tune into him in a second for you. Um, to be able to see that as, not rejection, but redirection, right? So, okay, so this didn't work out. Obviously, this isn't what's meant for me. There's obviously something better out there for me. So I want to give you a more empowering context than looking at this situation like you got dumped, okay? Because that's not what happened. What happened is, this person, Dan, is not serious about really looking for a partnership right now, right? He's more about having fun and enjoying himself. And I feel like he wasn't fully honest about that in your dating phase. So that would have been helpful, right? And this is something that you can verify for yourself as you're dating, as you go on other dates with other people, is to really, one thing you did not do is sort of check in to see, what is it that you're looking for? What are you ready for? What is it that you want? And just making sure that you're on the same page with someone. Okay. And so, I understand that you're very sad, but here's the thing I want to say to you. Someone doesn't just come along and create sadness. We don't just all of a sudden become sad, right? So I want to say that, from a universal intelligence perspective, your higher self sort of co-created this situation of you feeling abandoned by this person, having the experience of being dumped, so that it could trigger this deeper wound from childhood so that you could heal it. Okay. And that's all that's happening here, right? It's beautiful that like I said, that you enjoyed getting to know this person, and, notice how when someone doesn't reciprocate, Sunshine Beauty says that is interesting because he took steps, especially in the beginning, for us to move forward. He was also looking for marriage. Yeah, as I mentioned, I don't think he was being fully honest with you, and that can happen sometimes, and that's not your fault. It's not something that we want to go into situations, especially when they're enjoyable and it feels like you're on the same page, with an open heart, right? So you didn't do anything wrong. You're just, what I want to do is help you heal from the sadness, just giving yourself permission to feel all of those feelings, because the deeper wound, as I mentioned earlier, comes from your childhood, right? The idea that you're not lovable, or that, that love is elusive, or it's being withheld, or you're going to be abandoned somehow. Okay. So I want you to take a look at that and really feel into it. I don't think he was being fully honest with you. I think this is a person who comes on really strong and then sort of gets, a little bit, that's what it feels like happened. Like he kind of came on really strong and then sort of went, got a little scared, and so I don't think he's fully ready for what it is that you're looking for. And it doesn't matter what he's doing and not doing, because what matters is you. What matters is your heart, and your, being able to see this experience as an opportunity for growth and expansion, as an opportunity, as I mentioned at the beginning. It's challenge can look like I did something wrong, or what happened. Or it could look like this happened to show me some area of myself where I need to love myself more, or I need to honor myself more, or I need to be clearer about my boundaries or my standards, or advocate for my needs, so that I make sure that who I'm interacting with is on the same page with me. Okay. And so, I feel like you're not going to hear from this person again. And in fact, I think, is it okay I was just about to answer this question. Is it okay for me to be friends with him? I offered that to him as an open door. No, I would not offer that to him as an open door. I would not do that. I would not do that. I would see, the part of you that wants to keep the door open is the part of you that's longing for love. The little kid that's saying, please love me. Please. I want, maybe he'll change his mind, or maybe there'll be a reconnection, or maybe there'll be a possibility for something to grow from here. Okay. I don't feel like, this person can meet you in integrity. All right. I feel like there's something he's not telling you fully. All right. And I don't even know if he's maliciously being dishonest. I wouldn't even say that. I would say that there's just something he's not being fully honest about. You don't know the whole story with this person. Okay. So that's what I want to say about Dan. And then about you, as I want you to, just if he somehow dumped you, or he's not in the same, doesn't want what he said he wanted in the first place, I want you to spend time with yourself and process your own sadness, and use this opportunity to raise your standard for who you're, for who you're going to let into your life, the kind of love that you want to create. And you don't need to leave an open door for someone who's already said that they're not interested, or they don't want to move forward. Okay, this is not honoring yourself, and not honoring the need you have to create a loving and meaningful relationship with somebody who's serious about you. Okay. So that would be my advice for you tonight. Okay. You're so welcome. Sunshine and Beauty says, thank you so much. I'm sending you so much love and compassion. We've all been there. We've all had our hearts broken. We've all been in situations, where love is not reciprocal, unrequited, and it can feel very, very painful. And again, it's always an opportunity to go deeper into yourself, and learn to fill your own cup, and learn to love yourself fully and completely, so that you can emerge from this experience more embodied in love, more magnetic in love, and more fully in love with yourself, so that there's less of a longing for partnership and more of a desire to co-create life with someone. And that's a big shift in consciousness. Okay. And that's true for anybody who is looking to manifest love. All right. Beautiful. Okay. Who else is here? Hi, Jess. I see you. Oh my goodness. Hello. Hi. How do my spirit guides like the horse journalism for the Kentucky Derby? On a real note, that's funny. On a real note, my grandparents were in a vivid dream a week ago. Is that a visit or a message? Okay. I think you know, so I think you're drawing horses, which is beautiful. It's interesting. I feel like there's horses are showing up more in your life. So not just in the art that you're making, but also in spirit. Okay. So I actually would like you to look up spirit animal. Horse means power. Okay. In the animal medicine world. And it's a really empowering animal totem to have, and spirit guide to have. So I want you to look into it. You can Google it and check it out. It's all about power and empowering yourself, and showing up from an empowered place. And it's also taking initiative and leading the charge in some area of your life. Okay. So, and I'm going to get to the rest of your question in a moment, but this is coming through very strongly for you, Jess, is to really focus in on your power. How am I using my power? Right? You have a lot of power in your body. You have a lot of power in your creative energy. You have a lot of power moving through your field right now, especially as we move into this something about the Taurus season for you specifically. It's like, it's calling you into, grounding. They are completely surrounded. Okay, good. By horses, I imagine. Okay, good. So this is coming through a lot. How am I using my power? I want you to reflect on this question. Are you using it to focus on what's not working? What areas where you're suffering, areas where, you might be projecting blame, or are you using it to really amplify your life and direct yourself in the areas that you want to be heading in? Okay. So really asking yourself, how am I using my power? And also, how are you using your power in relationships? How you're communicating and so on. So this is a message. You're being surrounded by that. The horses are reminding you that you're powerful, and to be conscious and intentional around how you're using your power. Okay. Maybe my cutie girl, my Palomino, is around too. Yeah. So the horse that I see specifically is brown, and she's got white and on her nose, and a little bit of, it's kind of like the same color brown mane. Yep, B-day's tomorrow. Oh, happy birthday, Jess. Everybody wish Jess a happy birthday. She's having a birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Taurus baby. Very good. Okay, so what was the rest of your question? At least if you can bring it back, I can channel the rest for Jessica that she had asked for. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Thank you, Lacey. Okay, on a real note, my grandparents were in a vivid dream a week ago. Is that a visit or a message? Okay, it's both. So it's 100% both. A visit is a message. It's always, here's the thing about the dream world is that your conscious mind, that's her. Okay, good. That's the horse. Beautiful. And she's gorgeous and she's with you in spirit and she's reminding you, nudging you. I feel like, you know, um, she's kind of pushing you with her snout, just kind of nudging your arm, reminding you of your power and to yeah, and to just to use it wisely. And it might be time to get back on a horse. It might be time to start bringing that into your life again. Okay. So I'll leave you with that. I want to talk a little bit about the dreamscape as I was just about to channel for you and for everybody watching. Your subconscious mind never sleeps. Okay. And so there's two things that happen in the dream world. When we dream, the subconscious mind usually releases its contents and says, okay, it's time to process this on a conscious level. It's time to deal with this. It's time to, depending on how safe you feel or how much spaciousness you have in your everyday life, the subconscious mind will give you things to work on. Okay. And it can be things that are representative of you. All right. If you have a super vivid dream, as Jess is mentioning, and it feels like, you're seeing loved ones and so on, that is, as you said, a visit and a message. It can be a message pointing to something that there is for you to work on, or something that there is for you to just understand what that means about you. Okay. So from one perspective, I would say that you are all the people in your dream. Okay. And that means that the people that show up in your dream represent some part of you. They represent some part of you that either you're longing for connection to your ancestors, or you're longing for connection to something that you learned from your ancestors, or something that a need that they met for you, that is currently perhaps not being met in your life. Okay. So that's the message. And the visit, which is also happening simultaneously, as you're dreaming about your grandparents, is to simply remind you that you are supported by them. You are supported by them, and perhaps there's something you can do to revive the memory of your grandparents, specifically in this message for you, just as I'm channeling specifically for you. There's something your grandparents kind of want you to do to revive their memory. It could be a tradition. It could be something that you used to do together, maybe bringing that into your relationship with your son, like something that you can do to sort of keep them alive. Okay. And yeah, so that's what I feel as far as what that dream was about. And so it's always, if it feels like a visit, it's always a message. It's always everything that's always happening in universal intelligence, is alerting us and connecting us to what we really deeply desire to experience in human life. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions about that. I hope that was clear. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Good. Awesome. Beautiful. Okay, how about I know we're almost at time, and I just love to keep going, so I love to talk. How about we take one more, Lacey? Sunshine and Beauty says, wondering if I will get the job I just interviewed with today. Okay, let's see. It feels really positive. Like, as soon as I tune into your energy, it feels very positive. It feels like, yeah, and it feels like it's like a step in, a first step in that has a lot of potential, for you to express yourself. It feels like the right amount of responsibility. The only thing I want to caution you is don't take on too much. Like, don't, I think that you have a tendency to sort of overdo or overextend. And so it's going to be very important for you in this role to manage your boundaries. Okay. There's something about either managing people or managing a lot of responsibility in this role. So it feels like it's something that's going to work out for you. You're going to get your desire. All right. But keep in mind that some of the energy that you went into in this interview, I can feel it. It's like, I really want this, and I can do this, and I can do that, and like kind of overextending. Right. So, as much as that is a desirable trait in an interview, I also want you to be vigilant of how that may not serve you in the long run. Okay. So really being vigilant around, like, how much can I actually take on, and what really feels good to me, and what level of responsibility do I actually have the capacity to manage. Okay, so it's going to be important for you to learn how to ask for help and ask for support and delegate as well. Okay, so yes to your, I was going to give you a long answer to your question. Yes, and everything else I just said too. Okay, because I don't want you to feel burnt out by this role, or being drained by this role either. Okay. So, I really want you to work on just that sense of feeling empowered. And you know how tonight, so many questions came in around career and love. And it's the masculine energy just coming in that we really need to integrate and anchor into ourselves, especially as women, those of you that are women that are watching, and men as well, like integrating that divine masculine energy, that presence, that power, feeling rooted and anchored in your sovereignty, and what it is, in your self-worth, what it is that you're offering, and just trusting that everything is working out in your favor, seeing all of these experiences as opportunities for growth and expansion. Life is a gift, everybody. Even the hard stuff, even the painful stuff is happening to help you heal, to help you grow, and ultimately to help you learn to love yourself more, right? And so that's what we're here to accomplish, right? Is to step into that radical, unconditional self-love and self-awareness, so that we can be free of suffering and we can enjoy this human experience. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Happy birthday, Jess. Oh, look at that. Happy birthday. Was just saying, sorry, I'm just bringing that up. They brought me to my childhood church to take photos with my son. Beautiful. So this could be something that you could do, right? So I love that that's coming back around for you. Okay. So thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Thank you, Rhonda, for being here. Rhonda saying, Sabrina, thank you for sharing your gifts and your support. Thank you, Lacey, and Oracle community. Protect your energy. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Lacey, for helping us tonight moderate. Everybody, we're going to call it a day. Thank you so much for being with me tonight. I love channeling for you. If you were here and you got a question answered, I hope it resonated. I hope you got exactly what you needed. Please rewatch the replay. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe, so you can get notifications of when we're going live next. There is the Mediumship. Thank you, Lacey, for posting the Mediumship event link. For those of you that are desiring a mediumship connection, if you want to talk to a loved one in spirit, if you feel incomplete, or you just want to visit with them, or perhaps you're stuck in grief, or you didn't have a chance to say goodbye and you really want to connect with them, there is the link to book your spot. There's a few spots left in the mediumship class that I'm hosting in a couple Saturdays. So click on that link and get your spot today. If you want to do a deep dive and do some deep inner work with me, there is the link for a one-to-one session. You can apply to work with me and just come talk and connect, and we can sort of assess where you are. And this is for one-to-one private mentorship. Okay, so I have a few spots open this coming May, and which is now, tomorrow. And if you have a desire, if you're looking for guidance, and if you want to do some deep healing, the one-to-one mentorship is a very powerful container. If you're someone who just wants to come and have an hour of my undivided attention, if you didn't have a chance to get your question answered tonight, and you want to do a deep psychic, intuitive mediumship reading with me, the link to book a reading is also there. I think Lacey's going to post that at some point. If not, we'll put it at the end of the video. You can just come and book an hour with me, and I would love to channel for you and go deeper into whatever it is that you're struggling with. Okay, for all those of you tonight that joined us, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your love and for your support. We are going live again on Sunday night. On this coming Sunday night, I will be going live with soul sessions. We had our first soul sessions this last week, and it was great. I usually teach on a topic, and then I bring people on for live coaching. So if you're struggling with some area of your life, you have some relationship issues, or you're dealing with some health issues, you've got some whatever it is that you're dealing with, if you want some on the spot soul coaching, as I affectionately refer to it as, come and join us on Soul Sessions this Sunday night. It'll be at 5 p.m. Pacific. And if you're not subscribed, hit subscribe and you'll get the notification of when we're going live. Okay. All my love. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I will see you soon.